Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Hi, Rabbi. How are you doing?
It's a long time no speak.
I know it's a whole day goes by very, 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 very fast.
So we're getting great feedback, and I really need to speak to you about something which is really important in the world today. That is our attitude towards money. This is something I want to share. I've got some inspiration to share. I don't know if you know, I have Kabbalah on Money, and it used to come out top on Google. I don't know what the ranking is now. But let's talk about this a lot because you're a guy that you were with money. You come from a family that came from money. And now you're quite a spiritual guy. You were a personal trainer to the stars. You had a lot of money. And now you've got, I know, a new attitude. And so please share because this is such an important subject for so many people.
I grew up in a house that education was very, very important. And you get a good education so you could get a good job, so you could get a good salary. Not only is a good salary important, but where you live is very important. So if you asked me years ago, what is number one in your life? Get money. What's number two? What else do you want? I want more money. If you ask again, what else do you want? I want more and more money. And what happened was that there's a story about Steve Jobs, that the inventor of the iPhone, and he had $1 billion. And someone said he's sick. I said, he's never going to die. I said, he's never, ever going to die. He has $1 billion. He could buy his own hospital. He wants a heart, buy a heart. A lung, buy a lung. Whatever he wants, he could buy. And then he died. I really honestly believed with $1 billion, you don't die. And he died. And I said, wow. And then I came up with my 5 principles of faith that I live by, that I really believe. And
Yeah.
number one is to believe in a God. Whatever religion you are, believe in a higher power. Number two is to have health. Because obviously with $1 billion, you still can't buy health. Number three is happiness. I know a lot of people that have a lot of money and they're just not truly happy. Number four is to have family, friends, and appreciate what you have. And I realized that a lot of people that have a lot of money don't appreciate what they have. And they're always fighting with their brothers and sisters and their family over money. That's more important than money. And number five is actually to have money. And that money is to be used in this world to buy things for the next world, buy mitzvahs, give out charity. I love giving out charity. And the reason why I love it is because I always believe that I have 2 bank accounts, one in this world and one in the other world. So every time I give out money, I really think I'm just depositing in my other bank account. And I really do like, actually I feel, it makes me very happy inside when I give somebody money. In fact, I have a deal with myself that I always give out twice. First, I give out, and the second time, stick my hand in, I give out the other money. The first one was the money that I was just going to give out. And the second one is what the charity is about. And I remember years ago when the Walkman was around, that's how many years ago, I remember I had a bunch of $1 bills in my pocket, and in the middle of the $1 bill, I had a $50 bill. So I saw this person in the street, I gave her the $1 bill, and then I stuck my hand in, and I knew I was going to pull out another $1 bill. But I pulled out the $50 bill. And I went, that's not what I want to give them, a $50 bill. I wanted to give them another $1 bill. But then I realized that God wanted me to give the $50. And that was the deal I had. Whatever I pull out is what I'm going to give them. and I gave them the $50 bill. And the next day I walked back. I was walking in the area and I saw that person again. And they were so happy. They had batteries for their Walkman. They had all the stuff that they wanted. You know, that $50 never affected me. I never needed that $50. But it turned that person's life all totally around. And they were really, really happy. And you could see that. You know, $50 from somebody in for the street was really a great mitzvah. And I'll always remember that feeling. All those feelings, the feeling of me saying, I'm not going to give them the $50. And the Yetzer Hara was going, you're not going to really give them the $50. And I was like, that was the deal. Whatever I was supposed to pull out, I pulled out, was supposed to go to them. Remember, whatever I get is from God. It's not really my money. I'm there to use it. That's what I believe.
Yeah, so what you're saying is really important. I want to talk about the concept of money. I have a friend who's very, very wealthy, and you know, we're close. So he admitted to me that to him, money is an addiction, and he's actually quite a charitable guy, but still nothing compared to what he could do. And so what's really important is what you're saying is that money is a tool, right? Number one, you need meaning in life, you need God, you need purpose, you need health, you need love, and you need mitzvahs. And money is only a tool. That's all it is. Now, it's a wonderful tool. You see, everything that God made, the greater its potential, the greater it could be used for the positive or the negative. So let's use, I'm just going to speak about, for example, sex. That can be something that brings people together. Literally, it creates the world. Without that, none of us would be here. And yet, it can be abused. It can be selfish, narcissistic. The same thing is the greatest and the lowest. The same thing is with money. Because it's such a great energy, it can be the thing that makes you or breaks you. And so for a person to, it's like a dog. Would anybody let the dog tell them where to go? They'd have to be a real loser. You're walking the dog and the dog's taking you here, taking you there. And the same thing is, this is one of my points in Kabbalah On Money. The first point is the money controlling you or are you controlling the money? And so, number one, a person has to understand that God gives us money to take care of other people, to take care of our family, to take care of our friends, to take care of the poor. That's why we have money. And once you think like that, then the money doesn't become an addiction. And then you're in charge of the money. And so, you know, there's a very interesting story that the Jewish people, many, many years ago, so they had this kind of obsession with idolatry. Now, we're Jews. We don't believe in any of the religions that have idolatry. And basically, even in the West in general, we like, who thinks about idolatry? It's just a weird idea. However, it was like an addiction. And the rabbi saw that the Jews, they just can't handle this. This is just too much for them. For whatever reason, they were like addicted to it. In fact, there's a story that there was a king of Israel. His name was Menashe. And one day there was a great rabbi, a Talmudic rabbi, that said, okay, tomorrow we're going to lecture about our friend Menashe. Menashe was a terrible person. He even put idols in the holy temple. That night he has a dream. And Menashe comes to him, and Menashe tells him, I'm your friend? And he starts to teach him Torah that this great rabbi didn't know. So he says, Menashe, you're such a great man. You're such a scholar, such a saint. How could you worship idols? He said, if you were living in my time, you'd have lifted the hem, like they had long robes, to run quicker to the temple of idolatry. So it was like an obsession. So they took this obsession out of idolatry and they put it into money. Now, it's very important to say that money, again, like sex is the greatest thing in the world. You have to, you need to, you should do it in the right way. And if you know what to do with it, it can change the world. It can make the world an awesome place. And really, quite simply speaking, it all boils down to three principles. Principle number one, it's why we need money. And this is from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the great rabbi who inculcated all of Judaism, our great leader. So he said there are three reasons why we need money. The first reason is to give charity. Reason number one, why do you need money? To give, to help. And what an awesome privilege that God says, I trust you to give. Number two, we have to have money. I don't remember the exact order, so I'm just going to say it in order. We have money to do a mitzvah in a beautiful way. You want to buy a beautiful pair of tefillin. You want to buy beautiful Shabbos candlesticks. You want to do your mitzvahs in a nice way. It costs money. And the third thing is money buys peace of mind. And that's a very brilliant point, because money that buys peace of mind is good money. But money that creates anxiety is bad money. And the only way you can have peace of mind, exactly like the concept of sex, if it's about a higher purpose, it's about giving, it's about the will of God, then it's going to bring you joy and peace of mind. And the reason I'm kind of passionate, I'm speaking about this, is because unfortunately, we've gone back into this kind of materialistic nonsense, and people, they don't even know what they're doing. It's like an addiction. I just have to get money. And a lot of it has to do with status symbol. They don't even realize why they're doing what they're doing. It's like, have a job. Like the previous Rebbe said, he said, in the old country, they said, I forgot, ich mache leben, I'm making a living. In other words, your living is for life. But here, it's about, that is your life. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this?
I live in a different world.
Yeah.
I don't live in New York City. I don't have that temptation that I need the new iPhone. I need the new car. I need the new anything. In fact, I have very little of anything. I don't have a car. I don't have a bicycle. I don't have any basically material possessions. When I first got here, I used to have like 5 shirts. And if someone gave me a shirt, I had to get rid of a shirt. And then eventually I had 5 really good shirts, and somebody would say, here's a shirt. And I'd say, I don't want it. I have 5 shirts that I really like. And I did that with all my clothes. So I find happiness with pride. I don't need anything. If someone says, do you need anything? And I go, no, I'm completely happy. I'm completely happy with everything that I have, and I don't need anything. And God supplies me with everything that I need. I go to sleep happy, I wake up happy, and I know that I'm taken care of and I'm loved. And whatever happens, happens for us. And that's really how I live and what I believe.
So,
and if I don't have anything, if I don't have something that I want, then I don't have it. It's not really that important.
yeah, and that's a very important thing. Like the Rebbe speaks about this, that people can become slaves to their whatever it is. So, let's say a person buys a really nice car, and then they're a slave to the mortgage and the car payments. And so getting to that place of contentment is really important. So this is a very important discussion. And I think that if I'm reaching out to anybody in the audience there, my message is very simple. Everything in life is about what is the purpose of this thing. Everything that God made, the only thing that's absolutely fundamentally non-negotiable, like it's like godliness himself, is life itself. But everything that we use in life is a tool. And then the question is, what is that for? And so when it comes to money, we said exactly what it's for. And it's for charity, it's for doing a good mitzvah, and it's for peace of mind, having that sense of safety. I'm paying my bills, I'm okay. And if we just put that in our heads, then this kind of concept, because I think a lot of people, we've been subconsciously brainwashed into, like you said, you grew up, if you got the money. Now, a lot of people have lost a lot of money. And the point is, do you lose your own identity if you don't have it? And so myself, if I may say, I've had times that I've had more, times that I've had less. And thank God, when you go through difficult times, one of the things you learn is you learn how to be content. You learn how to not get your way. And I think that's one of the greatest things that ever happened to me. Learning how not to get what you want. Because if that's the case, things just, okay, I wanted it. If I could get it, good. If I can't get it, okay, no big deal. And if I obsess about something, oh, I have to have this, then I set myself up for a difficult situation. And so we really have to, advertisements are very smart, they're very clever, especially young people, they're very vulnerable, and they like make you think, oh, you got to have this is the thing to have. If it has a use, maybe you should have it, if it's useful. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on money. And maybe on this video, I'm going to put a link to my Kabbalah on Money, which in fact, I give very good tips from Jewish mysticism on getting money. But again, the most important thing is not how to get money, but it's why to get the money. Because if you have the direction, then it's a blessing. But if it's leading you, then it can be an addiction and it can be a curse. What are your thoughts?
Two things that make me give charity and make me give it, and I'm very happy. I feel like, as I said, I have two bank accounts, one here in this world and the other one in the other world. So I feel like I'm just transferring money to the other world. So I'm still getting the money, but it's just going to come later on. And I love giving out charity to people that need it, because it's bringing goodness into the world. I'm doing something good. If you walk by and you say, wow, I should have gave to that person, you feel guilty.
Right.
So I always carry extra money with me to be able to give out.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel really good. I'm giving people money that they need, and it changes their lives. It helps them.
Beautiful. Well, I'm also going to put a link to Kollel Chabad. Kollel Chabad is a premier organization that gives out money. The government has partnered with them in Israel. There's no kind of food stamps there. And whatever money, even though the need is much, much, much greater than they have, they have about 19 soup kitchens. They're providing to 110,000 kind of isolated seniors meals a month. They give out 10,000 packages a month. That's for a whole family. They provide a food card where you can go to a shopping in certain supermarkets. They have nonprofit, very brilliant idea, nonprofit grocery stores. And so people come in and they're able to buy on a reduced price, and it also reduces the price for, in general, the goods, because now the profit stores have to compete with them. And they have let's see, what else do they have? They have they got medical clinics, they help out orphans, they help out war victims, they have a free loan, they have like free wedding halls, amazing stuff. Their budget's over $40 million a year. And I would say, they have very high ratio of giving all of that to charity. And so I'm going to put a link to them. That's a charity that I personally support. And those that are looking to do a very big mitzvah, because unfortunately the poverty in Israel is very strong. The economy may be good for the wealthy, but it's very difficult for the poor. And that's a super mitzvah. You could just, you know, whip out your credit card and put in a donation. I know they really appreciate it, and especially with COVID, it's a really a great thing to do. And especially that all this was started by the first Chabad Rebbe. So the the there's great blessings actually in giving to this charity, because these are very holy people. So you're supporting, and they will bless us in return. So just concluding thoughts is, I want to bless each and every person that listens to this video and undertakes to give. And listen to this. This is a big thing that I'm going to say. Undertakes to give 90%, if you can afford to, 90% to charity with infinite wealth. And there are people that I know, a very wealthy person, he made his money and he lost his money, and then he realized it all comes from God, and he decided he's taking 7.5% for himself. The rest he's giving to charity, and thank God he got his money back. And so this has been done before. It's a real thing. I want to bless each and every one of us, that we should have the kind of courage to live like that. And we should, you know, money really is, it says in the Talmud, you shouldn't count your money, because it's like water. The water, this mist goes into heaven, it comes back down. We should let it flow. And that, when we do that, we create a flow in money, a positive. And we said before, happiness. I think Warren Buffett is so rich just because he's so happy. So let's enjoy our money, our lives, all of our blessings. And yeah, what could you share with us as some concluding inspiration?
When you give charity, it's very, very important to give because you want to give. If you give and you don't want to give, that's not a good feeling. You should give from your heart and be happy.
Steve, well done.
Yes.
Thank you for another great video. We look forward to putting this out. And for all those that are watching, we bless you with a lot of success and joy and happiness. And most importantly, being able to be happy about the positive choices we've made, because really that's what we take with us forever.
Bye.
Take care.